Dee, if you don't mind, can you share the video? Just leave your
We are here.
Yeah, if you can, we share the video. Thanks.
For the future, we rise high with one heart and revolution, lifting up humanity as we rise, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn, we are the stars. To win it, to win it. To win it, to win it.
Oh. Hi there. Hello.
Bringing hope, shining the light. We're a nation, we are rising with one love, with one hope, bringing solution, lifting up humanity. Let's rise high, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn, we are the stars. To win it, to win it, to win it. To win it, to win
We're in it to win it, standing tall, hand in hand, lifting humanity. Thank you, my sister, for a beautiful song that really encompasses what ONPASSIVE is all about. I'm going to hand it over to our moderators of today, Sister Debbie, Sister Irving, and my humble self. Sister Debbie, take it over.
All right. Thank you very much, Sister Patience. At this point, I just want to make a quick announcement before I move forward. When you started playing this song, we were around 206, 207. Now we're almost 270, which means a lot of people signed in during the period the song was playing. And I see a lot of device names without any names. Please kindly name yourself first, last name, as well as the country you're signing in from, and dress appropriately. And if you have any questions, the chat is open, or you write it on a piece of paper and raise your hand at the end of the webinar. So at this point, I am going to say, I want to welcome our first speaker of the day based on our agenda. And that person is the one and only, you just heard the voice, and you're going to see, she's here in person, and you're going to have a word from her. She's our very own one and only, Sister Lerato. Over to you, sister.
Hi, Sister Debbie, thank you so much. Oh my God, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you guys, you are, as elated, as excited, as, grateful as I am. I always say gratefulness. Every time when I speak about gratefulness because, sometimes it's easy to take things for granted. But I'm just so grateful, especially after the speech of a CEO. I know a lot of people were asking, what's going on? What's going on? Is this what he's saying? Blah, blah, blah. Me, I was excited because I know that in the journey of greatness, there's a lot that happens. I know that, I was watching our CEO's face and I was watching his mannerisms, trying to study what he wants to say, reading between the lines. And what I picked up is that, there's a lot of challenges when you're building something this big. He might not be, eloquently expressing what he's going through, but at the end of the day, he has all of us in his heart, and his mission is to win. His mission is to bring the dream about that he promised all of us, that we will, bask in the dream of ONPASSIVE and be able to reach our potential. But the statement that really stood out for me was when he said, quitting is not an option. I don't care what happens, quitting is not an option. Death comes before quitting. The whole time I was just meditating on what he said, and I said, this is the attitude of a winner. Because last week I was talking about that the people that make it are not different from us, but they do certain things differently, right? They are flesh and blood like us. They don't have 10 heads. They have one head. They have 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, right? And they make it. But what they do, their mentality and what they do differs from what, most people do. That's why they're in the top, right? And we always talk about mentality here and changing our mindset. Every time we come on Sunday or Saturday, whatever, we talk about changing our mindset. And if we're going to be truly a family of ONPASSIVE or belong to this beautiful, beautiful dream of ONPASSIVE, we cannot only choose to take only the easy parts. We have to take also, we have to take the challenges, to reach the glory. Because most of the time, people see you in this journey and they see the glory and they don't understand the story behind and what you had to wrestle, the giants that you had to wrestle in order for you to be glorified. So people see the glory, they want to be only a part of the glory, but they don't understand the pain. They don't understand the disappointments that you had to battle. They don't understand the backlash. They don't understand abandonment. Sometimes people who are great leaders, they get abandoned in the middle of their journey. They get abandoned, they get chastised. I'll make a very simple example because I'm a Christian and I'm a believer. I know we're not talking about faith here, but I'll make a simple example of Christ. He preached a very hard message at one point. I call it the message I call it the vampire message. When he said, drink my blood and eat my body, everybody left him. He didn't start with 12 disciples. He had many people following him. That crowd left him. So in the journey of glory, there's going to be a lot of things. And so if we are truly going to be a part and a family of ONPASSIVE, we have to take in with the roles. We have to really roll with the disappointment sometimes where you're thinking, did I understand this? Did I not understand it? What is this? We cannot only want the glory and not want to be a part of the story. That's why he keeps on saying every day, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey, and it all comes to mindset. That's why for me, I said, after I left the meeting and I'm listening to everything, I was excited because I know that there's so much happening. There's so much happening and it's happening forward for us, right? So I don't want to take too much time because Dr. Bill is here, but what I'm going to leave you here with is that, we all have a choice every morning. We choose how we choose to be happy. We choose to be depressed. We choose to be a part of something great. We all have made choices every morning. But I'm just going to encourage you to choose positivity, to choose to win every day, even if it doesn't feel like it, choose to win. All right. And for me, I know for all of us here, for most of us, ONPASSIVE is the last bus stop for us to actually reach our dreams. Between God or the higher power that we believe, ONPASSIVE for most of us is a last bus stop for us to live the lives that we truly deserve. It is the last bus stop for us to actually live the lives that we truly deserve and help everything also around us to blossom and to also live its full potential, meaning that when we live the life that we truly deserve, then we reach out to others and we deposit that greatness as well. So I'm excited about everything, and I'm excited about the journey and where we are now. So for me, ONPASSIVE gives me the peace of mind to know that I will pursue what I love. When I don't have to worry about financial finances, I know that I have the time to pursue what I truly love and fulfill my destiny without anything holding me back. So I hope you also have that same mindset to say, this is my last bus stop. I don't care what happens. I do not care. I'm part of this great story of our glory because we are in it to win it. It's already done. We are in it to win it. It's just the journey, enjoying the journey and waking up every morning and choosing to enjoy it, choosing to pray for it. If you pray, meditate for it, whatever, so that the journey won't be long and we will all get to live the lives that we truly deserve instead of just being on survival mode. I love you, everybody. And Dr. Bill, I can't wait to hear from you. I love you, everybody. In case you didn't hear it, know that I love you. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sister Lerato. That it has just opened my mind, and I'm ready to receive the next group of speakers. I'm ready to receive because of the empowerment. You've empowered all of us. So we're ready to receive what our CEO shared with us last week from our updates team, Dr. Derek and Sister Verona. Over to you.
Ooh. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Lerato. That was awesome. Thank you very much, Queen Debbie. And welcome to Dr. Bill Williams. And we are waiting in anticipation, so we're going to be very fast. CEO Data Center owner and labs owner, Verona Willis Brown. Hey!
Present.
Present and correct. Anyway, we are going to look categorically quickly at our updates. But one of the things that we recognize that Ash Mufareh speaks of from the heart, and he always wants us to fully grasp, and that is the help for humanity. And so therefore, I'm just going to spend a little time before the updates. We're just going to spend a little time on poverty, because this is where the crux of the matter is, poverty. And so when we talk about poverty, I mean, when we talk about poor, a person might look at poor and say, well, you know, I can't pay my car note, so I am poor. I can't, you know, pay my insurance, and so I'm poor. You know, I can't pay my rent. I can't pay, you know, buy lunch today. So I'm poor. And we talk about poverty in such a way where it doesn't resonate with what poverty really is in our society. Because when you talk about poverty and oh bless, and where it is going to be effective is where us as founders is going to have the heart that Ash Mufareh has in order to help humanity and to restore humanity. In the Caribbean, we talk we know of places which is very poverty stricken, like Haiti, Nicaragua, and these are the top 5 poverty-stricken places in the Caribbean. We talk about El Salvador and Belize. And of course, you have more. These are the top 5. When we talk about the world poverty countries, we talk about Burundi, we talk about Somalia, we talk about Mozambique, we talk about Madagascar, we talk about Sierra Leone. And so poverty has outrun a lot of our society, that we don't even hear or know about. A person come to a little water hole, which is muddy, box off the dead carcasses that is there, and try to get some water from there. In our 21st century, people are not drinking clean water. They don't have access to clean water. Yemen is one of those, and which has been dear to Ash Mufareh's heart, which he himself purchased 1,500 accounts, founder's position, just for people in Yemen. Watch this video.
Now, more than 2 years of the conflict, but the people are still suffering in everything, lack of services. There is no regular income on monthly basis. The life in general is still dead.
We are lucky enough to actually encounter and have access to a lot of young Yemeni women and men who care about their country, who are tired of the war, and also tired of the narrative of the war and the image of their country being projected outside, and they want to do something about it. And that's why I think it's a moral responsibility for everybody to help these young people, because they don't deserve this.
في زيادة في عدد سوء التغذية بسبب الأوضاع اللي نعيشها نحن الآن حاليا، وإحنا نستقبل في القسم يعني بشكل كبير جدا، علينا ضغط زيادة.
Can you imagine 79–80% of a country, it's below poverty line? Think about that. So when next you might cannot pay your light bill, or you have people who don't have light. When you might be talking about, well, you can't afford lunch today. You have people who don't eat lunch for the week. Let us recognize that ONPASSIVE, through our humanitarian Ash Mufareh, and as us as founders, let us really grasp the mindset to assist Ash Mufareh with helping humanity and restoring humanity to the place where we can be proud of humanity.
So with that said, we are about to go into another section called updates. So it is UPDATES. What do we have? Update. So let's take it from here. Ash Mufareh update 2022. And that was Monday, August 2nd. We need you as yourself. If you wait and see a massive money in your bank account, there are no guarantee you will be happy. 1, new website is happening like clockwork, once per week. In 14 days, it will be every Monday and every Thursday. Then 3 websites per week, to venture into 1 per week, working up to 1 website every day. Why? Value. 1, how founders will improve and looking fabulous. 2, our network improve and it continue to get better. 3, AI features in our network will be in the coming couple of weeks. AI to better improvement and connections. 4, within next week, the calendar and schedule on the right side of the dashboard, recorded and upcoming events. And 5, a big handful of Lynn Nakamoto, very helpful in all she has done. She will be instrumental in this transformation. 6, Ash desires to help all achieve their goals behind just the material monetary level. Ash would like to be the bridge to help you get to your destination. And 7, 4 more operational regions within 90 days. 8, concurrency. Ash knows how much is needed to get many millions to the websites. The quality assurance and all the work is not always visible, but necessary. Multi-regions for speed and redundancy. All this is to provide multiple backups to prevent shutdowns. Ash gave an example that NASA ticket site didn't work, couldn't take the heat. 9, oh, academy. Idea. Ash wants to create a model school to be on the right track humanly for all to learn and to make children be genius. 10, oh, bless. Poverty pressure solution to get things done, cost of the company, not the recipient. First, genuine financial solution with no judgment of recipients. 11, processors for redundancy and scalability, soon to be lit. 12, products and targets, the best position we have ever been in, thanks to tech teams. 13, free products or the door to paid products. Give enough value to taste some products and customers will buy the other products because of the value. I showed video clips of partners working inventing a new menu. Ash wanted a unique menu. He wanted to revolutionize the menu concept. There are 40 to 50 teams with much excitement. New search tool is now YouTube for most people. Think about putting content on YouTube and put your links to it. People now want to watch and be entertained. Provide people with what they want and they will search for you. 16, just show up and do one good thing for your business, even if completely invisible. If you know how to pray or meditate for the company, say thank you to someone, etc. This is all helpful to build the company and each founder forward. People want to be guided. Provide someone a helping hand in some manner. 17, build trust. Be clear, be boldly communicating that ONPASSIVE is the next mega business. We wouldn't be here if we didn't have something impressive. How to explain the pay structure? It's dynamic, hybrid, unlimited, scalable, long-term, functional, sustainable, and it's simple. Now, we are
ONPASSIVE pioneers.
And that concludes the end of the update. Thank you.
All right, all right, all right. I cannot thank you enough for the update, but it's so heartbroken from the intro. I had to just hold myself back because the intro just helps explain why the updates from last week is relevant based on what our CEO said. So thank you, thank you. Thank you, Team Updates. Very much appreciated. At this time, I'm going to say you just remain put because we're going to call on you to do a brief summary of cademy, which is the next item on our agenda. Dr. Derek and your team, please. Thank you. Over to you.
Academy, make learning a journey to self-discovery. The best e-learning platform on the market, which is Academy. Of course, yes, you have a lot of platform that is out there that is doing, but most of these platforms are, one, very expensive, two, and they don't offer any accredited programs. Let's look at Udacity quickly. Udacity courses, 200 plus. And yet still, we're talking about a starting of $399 a month, or just little under $2,000 for 4 months access to some courses. And yes, these courses are certificate, but no to accredited. So, you know, if you want bachelor's degree and, you know, all of those, you know, associate degrees and all of those things, no, they don't offer those things. Most definitely not. And so, of course, these are, you know, our products in blue, and these in blacks are the products that are out there. And so we are looking today at Academy. What is Academy? Academy is a unified online course platform that offers exceptional leverage to learning and tutors access the world. Loaded with multiple features, this learning platform is equipped to give a few fantastic experience to every user. Furthermore, Academy is an exponentially flexible and highly scalable product that enhances courses searchability according to the user requirement, smarter than the usual learning platform. One of those features, of course, it's multilingual. Can you imagine? You are teaching in English and persons can actually hear in French, Latin, German, you name it, you know, approximately 120 different languages. Oh, mercy. The detection, wherein if a student is not paying attention, there's an alert that is sent to the tutor, and the tutor would be able to say, John, pay attention. Awesome. One of the general rules about audio and video is that video gets processed slower than audio. And that is why we have so many issues with Zoom, because when we say something in Zoom, it takes a little while before you get it. And the main reason for that is because it is on the old multi-point control unit, MCU, coming from the days of the switchboard and the rotary telephone. That is where that system is coming from. So all they did is just upgrade it a little bit and put stuff on that same old MCU system, even our telephone, because even if someone is right there in the room with you and you were to call their cell phone number, which they are right there in the room with you, you call a number, the call is going to actually go to the nearest cell tower, and it is going to go through the MTSO and then come back to the nearest cell tower and then to the person's phone that is right next to you. So that is the old system. And so even when we upgraded, so to speak, to PBX and PSTN, which is the public switched telephone network, or the private branch exchange, or even when we went up to voice over internet protocol, it was still on the same old platform. So all of those phone system, which is GoToConnect and Magic Jack and Vonage and all of these phone system, they are still operating on the old platform. However, with ONPASSIVE's Academy, which will be also using the same one of the same platform in our ecosystem, which is Connect. it is using a technology which is known as WebRTC, which is a totally different, just look at it this way. It's as if you buy a piece of property, you know, maybe 3 acres, but a little old house is on it. You just clean off the whole house and you just build from the ground up. That is what ONPASSIVE is doing with all our products. We're not borrowing anything from anyone, none of the other technology, so to speak. We are building all our technology from the ground up. And so WebRTC, which is Web Real-Time Communications, that is the platform that we are using, and you are going to see the difference. The video quality is going to be different. The audio quality is going to be better. The video quality is going to be better. Everything, which of course will be run by AI, artificial intelligence, and it is just going to be awesome. And so therefore, Connect, of course, which it is going to be the distance and age be no limitation. So there will be no limitations with distance, age, language, or anything, because cademy is going to make learning a journey to self-discovery. I thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for that quick update on cademy, Dr. Derek. I had no idea, you know, the way you connect things, it makes it look so vividly to anyone who does not have any background. And with that, I will say, all of us who are on this platform today or any other platform, without education, regardless of where it's coming from home, from your teachers, from your aunts and uncles or your neighbors, each and everyone has had to have some sort of education to get wherever we are. And you have that journey, only you alone know what journey you went through. And with that, I will say, I want to introduce to you, I'll officially introduce our one and only, the voice behind this person. And how humble is he? When I reached out to him and asked if he could speak to our team, he did not even think twice. He just said, yes. When do you need me? That is such a selfless person. We don't have many people like that. I have reached out to so many people, and I will say him, and maybe I reserve, just maybe, but it did not take him that long. A few minutes later, I got a response, I'm available. When? That's who he is. And please, I don't want to take too much of his time. I want to introduce to you our special presenter who has something very special to share with us, and he is Dr. Bill. Over to you, Dr. Bill.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Dr. Derek Clark. Shout out to my special friend, Dr. Warner, who's a dentist here in Atlanta watching today. Hello. I am blessed to be part of your outstanding team today, Dream Team special group. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you a few tidbits of information I have put together related to the topic that I was asked to speak on, cademy, and how it relates to the Universal School of Health and the top 100 doctors movement. So I think there's a unique opportunity here between massive groups of people around the world. And so we'll go into something where I want to reveal to you some of the things that I think two of the world's most innovative minds have come together. And when you see some of the things you might not have heard before, you will be totally amazed at the synchronicity that's happening in our world today around innovation. And we'll get into it right away here. You know, I'm a product of 20 years of education. I went through 1 through 12 high school, 4 years of college, 4 years of dental school before I could start work. And then what I found was when I got out of dental school, I thought I knew a lot, but I met friends who were dentists for 5 years, and I realized I didn't know as much as I needed to know. And so I said, it'll take me 5 years to get to where I really know something. After 5 years, I looked at my friends that had been in 5 years before me, and I said, they still know more than I do. And then it took 5 more years before I realized that I knew a lot by 10 years into my profession. And the reason I knew a lot more was because I was going to continuing education classes every other weekend for 10 years. I would spend 2 days a week in school for 10 years after I graduated as a doctor. And so the word is, I've been a student of continuing education all my life, and I have probably 5,000 hours of continuing education beyond my dental degree. And most of it I got sitting in classrooms in front of instructors. Sometimes I would, in the latter years, we started to get our online education. I started learning from people all over the world sitting at home. And I remember the very first time that I got into online education, we rented a hotel ballroom. 200 people got together and watched a satellite feed that cost $2,000 just for that ballroom, to feed into that ballroom. And this was a satellite feed going to the entire nation. And it cost tens of thousands of dollars to put this on at the source. And it took thousands of dollars per ballroom to outfit the entire process. And here we are today doing a webinar across the world that's costing us a few $100s. So there's a lot of innovation that's happened in the last 50, 40, 30, 20 years. So I want to go to a PowerPoint presentation and kind of lead you through some thoughts. And we'll talk about how the medical profession is looking at Cademy and how it's going to be able to help us in the long run gather more customers, because the medical profession is just another metaphor for the classroom. Every classroom is the same in that there are students and teachers, and we can put together a scenario where everything I'm talking about applies to you, your classroom, you teaching, wherever you are in any part of the world. So I'm going to share my screen. From the beginning, we will start. And it's so good to be with the Dream Team. Whoever invented the name Dream Team is right. You guys are all winners. It's a dream to be in ONPASSIVE, right? It's the perfect vehicle for all of us to reach our goals. And our goals are very important to us. Each one of us has specific goals. And I joined it. And I remember the first time I did a video, it was seen by one of the leaders in ONPASSIVE, and they called Ash up and they said, you need to look at this video that talks about ONPASSIVE being an assist to your normal retirement, something that will be a benefit to the future. And this was right before the pandemic, right before everybody knew what was fixing to fall apart. And so it was providential that we talked about having an extra income that was available, and ONPASSIVE will answer that question for a lot of people, I think. So let's go through and we'll see what we can figure out here as to what's important and what you want to know. What I'm going to reveal is to the whole world how Ash Mufareh and Kinor Shah got together in Orlando, Florida, March 1st, 2021. We were bringing those two together. You know, I called Ash up and I said, I want to bring Kiana Shah to meet you. And I want to talk about AI and disruptive technology and innovation. What you're doing, Ash, mirrors what Dr. Shah's doing. And I'm a part of both. And I want you two to meet. And so we set up a time to get together, and we found that, yes, there was some collaboration that could be done together. And we sat down and talked for many hours, a whole afternoon. And then we decided, yes, we're going to move forward and do something together. So I want to speak about the ONPASSIVE innovation curve. And this innovation curve is not new to ONPASSIVE, but it's very relevant to ONPASSIVE. My style of overlapping innovation curves is really what propelled our office, Swanee Dental Care in Atlanta metro area, to grow from 0 to $5 million in production in 10 years. Now, the average dental office does about 800,000 to $1 million in a year. So when we grew to 10 million, that was beyond normal. And there was a reason for that, I felt like, and we were uniquely prepared because we were looking at growth through innovation curves. And I bring up those curves because ONPASSIVE has the exact same philosophy. And so does the medical model that Dr. Shah is talking about. Now, if you're looking at the curve and you see innovator, you can relate to these in terms of who you are and who our customers will be. So let's look at the concept that if you add something valuable to your life, to your company, you're going to have potential increase. Okay. And so the innovators, this is you and your team. You know, you are an innovator by being a part of the ONPASSIVE Founders Group. The people that envisioned it in the 2018, well, they're on the very tip of the beginning of that curve. And then a lot of us came along in 2019, 20, 21, and we're still innovators because we haven't launched yet. And so what comes after that are the pioneers. Our first customers, those that sign up next week, next month, whenever we start the launch process through the marketing campaigns, they are the adventurous with the high tolerance for risk. They may still be involved in the beta test. I know we are right now. They have high hopes that this new and exciting thing is going to turn out to be very exciting for them as far as income and the use of the tools. They do have fears, though. The innovation tax will happen to a lot of startups, right? The cost of being first sometimes leads to being a failure. But our focus is such that we want to only put something into the public realm when it's perfected. And so there's not much doubt that we're going to succeed. So our innovation tax is not going to be a severe tax. The only tax we have is on our time, our patience. We have to be patient until that point. So the whole thing is to keep the people that are pioneers focused. You have to tell them about the process. If you're talking to new people about ONPASSIVE, you need to talk about the process, the breakthroughs, and the prototypes. What have we done that's been perfected to date? And what do we hope? And that's right what we are. We're giving webinars now on what are our prototypes. We haven't seen them yet. We've only heard about them. And so we talk about the breakthroughs that are to come, not that have already happened. The next group that comes in is where the money starts to ramping up in your bank accounts as a sales representative, as a person who is building teams, as a person who is a reseller, you might say. So those resellers that go out and start working are going to have massive growth, and it's going to be on the high end of that curve. The early mainstream people that you get to come in at this point, the customers you bring in, they'll be open to new ideas, but they're going to be a little more aware of the pitfalls because the products are going to already be seen. They will be actually great influencers to later buyers. The early adopters that come in during this early mainstream period will be called early adopters. And those people will be great for you to have on your team because they'll influence the majority of buyers that come in later. They have hopes that this is new, but it's tested. So they rely on the testing that was done by the pioneers and, of course, the innovators. They fear reputation damage if the thing develops and becomes a flop. But by the time we get to this point, we will have everything ironed out. And we have, less than 1% chance of anything that we produce failing. That's the beauty of the ONPASSIVE system, where everything is done until it's perfected and then it's released. When we get to the late mainstream group, those people are the ones who want to buy the fully developed product off the shelf. It's an easy sell because they see it working, and there's a lot of social proof by other people that it's working. Now, the hopes of the people in the late mainstream area are that this is already ready and it's recommended for them, and there's no cost of disruption of their usual business. It's already going to fit in because it's already been tested, it's already been tried. So you have to tell people in this group that this is a niche market. It's something that it's ready for everybody in the market, not just the people that want to try something new that are early adopters. So if they feel comfortable, they'll buy. And so as we get moving on our curve, it gets easier and easier to sell. And that's the good news. And when you finally get to the tradition, that means that ONPASSIVE is considered a household name. That means that people go to the online store and they pick the thing that they're most familiar with, which would be ONPASSIVE. And that's where Ash is really pointing us towards, is the fact that we become the household name with a few great products. He releases cademy, he releases OConnect, and he shows people that these are innovative, disruptive, and then they go into the market and say, what else have you got? I'm going to buy it because I know you already produce great tools, great software, and good platforms for my business. So that's the whole story of innovation platforms. And you really need to understand that the buyers that come in are coming in with a specific mindset. And so you can't sell traditional people early. You can't sell mainstream people very early. And you have to tailor your pull to pull in people to their mindset. So understanding mindset is really the key to sales when you're talking about gathering customers and then turning them into resellers. So that's a good starting point. Ash says how you do anything is how you do everything. If we look at the excellence that's put into the products, we'll be very patient because we know that we will not have that failure mentality once we launch something because it's already proven to work before we launch. We're going to get more value than any company in history. And you already know how many products, and he said there is a group of products called physical products that are going to far outnumber the digital products, which means that the bulk of our income potentially could come not just from the ecosystem itself of digital products, but it could come from the physical products. And that's a major change from 2 years ago. And everybody didn't know that back then, but they know it now. And so it should be exciting for everyone listening to know that we have an unlimited source of products to sell, not just a few things that you've heard of. And it's all based on bringing something to the market that's better. I really liked what Dr. Derek said about WebRTC and how it's different and it's more intelligent. It's a smarter service. And if we have every product that is as groundbreaking as OConnect and OCademy, then we're going to be in the catbird seat, the best place to be. Let us talk about what makes ONPASSIVE so attractive to outsiders and why do they want to come in? Why do they want to choose us? Well, it's because of the added value of ONPASSIVE, AI, and learning, machine learning. And when we talk about that, that brings us into the realm of adding AI to business where it's not already been added. And what business am I in? Of course, healthcare. And I was fortunate to be selected as one of the top 100 doctors a few years ago. And the nomination process is that anybody can nominate a doctor and anybody can be chosen, but they have to go through the nomination process and be selected by the panel. Okay. And so what happens is every year there's a new group of doctors chosen for that honor. And so over a period of time, these doctors have gotten together and come together as a group, and they want to change the world of medicine, and they want to see it be more patient-centered and get away from the corporate control. And so we have a mass of people that are moving towards a philosophy of change. And it's the same as Ash has about ending the corruption in the business world, ending the corruption in government. We want to end the corruption that's in the insurance industry and the medical hospital industry. We want to give the control back to the doctors to give them patient care decision-making power. Right now, it's been stripped away. And so a lot of that is the force behind what we're doing with trying to get Cademy into our doctors group. We've been giving webinars over the past couple of years. You may have heard us talk on Comfort, her podcast, or maybe working with Gershminder and his group, Sampat Patel and Sampa Gupta. All these folks have hosted us to talk about Cademy and its impact on these different spheres of influence, as we call it. Now, I want to report to you that our group is not just made up of dentists. It's not made up of just physicians. It's made up of 6 different disciplines. The pharmacists have joined us. The osteopathic physicians have joined us, chiropractic physicians, optometry, and also psychiatrists, psychologists, philosophers. So we have a group of people who've come together under the banner of healthcare. It's not just doctors of medicine. And I'm reporting to you today, if you may not know it, we have a new ONPASSIVE doctor, one of the leadership council members from a year ago, Dr. Idris Modi. And I nominated him to be a member of the top 100, and he got selected to be in the top 100 class in 2022. So this year we honor Dr. Modi has joined the group, and it's exciting to see our own doctors. We have about 20 doctors in ONPASSIVE that I know of who are part of the ONPASSIVE top doctors group. And so we keep honoring them. One of the things we're trying to do in this arena is create a school, Universal School of Health, that brings all the disciplines together to train them to be better businessmen and women, to be better physicians, to deal straight with the public and try to cut out much of the middleman obstruction, all the insurance obstruction, all the medical equipment obstruction, everything that goes against direct patient care, doctor to patient. That's what we're trying to eliminate. And we're trying to streamline and reduce the cost, bring medicine to the places that they need it without having to have such a bottleneck. And there's a lot of bottlenecks, as you know, around the world. So we're trying that, and that's one of our goals. We have a leadership team, and Dr. Emily Latran is part of ONPASSIVE as a founder and is the dean of the School of Universal Health. And she has some specific requirements of the learning platform that we want to use. And I want to mention those to you. It may be that we have answered every need in Cademy. So one of the things that we need to have is 4 things that we list out. We want it to be accessible on demand at the student's pace, so that students all around the world can take this course of being a better doctor. This particular group of doctors at the Universal School of Health is the first curricula that they're going to put together is for doctors that have already graduated to become better able to run their clinics. Because right now, a lot of doctors work in a hospital or they work for somebody else and they don't have control. And so we're going to teach them to be able to run their clinics more effectively. So we want it to be accessible on demand. We want interactive and collaborative learning experiences. We want the entire Universal School of Health degree course programs to be fully online, so there's no travel. So people don't have to go to a classroom and sit in a building away from their home, sometimes having to travel overseas, paying the huge cost of travel. You know, it costs more to travel and stay in a hotel than it does to take a course sometimes when you're doing these continuing education classes. And I know because I did it for 20 years. I went somewhere every week or two, and I would fly in, stay 2 days, 3 days, 4 days in a hotel and have to eat out and have to travel in an airplane almost always. Sometimes I would drive 5 hours in a car, and it was always expensive. And so we want to have online, no travel experiences. And finally, technology and integration of software. We want everything to come together as one seamless software to run the whole thing. ONPASSIVE does a great job with that. That's our strength, and we're looking forward to that. So the question I always ask is, when's the last time you missed an opportunity of a lifetime? We often see things in a different light, and we can pass on good information to other groups. And that's what we've done with ONPASSIVE and the Universal School of Health. We saw excellence in two places, and we brought them together. And one of the biggest benefits to a group that a leader can have is to be a connector. If you can bring together people of like mind with talent, then you can plus everything so much faster. And I think of a good example is Muhammad Kamal. He seems to have come into ONPASSIVE as a founder, and then he morphed into the COO in Dubai because he had ideas related to something that was very valuable to ONPASSIVE. And so the connection of two important people came together. And I think all throughout ONPASSIVE, we have those kinds of connections being made. Ash recognizes those. He met with Dr. Shaw. He met with Kamal. He met with a lot of people over the years, and he's put together the team. And the team, it grows. And as we get more and more into the time where we go past the initial startup, then those important meetings that happened in the last year will start to bear fruit. And so that's what we're talking about today is what are the fruits that are going to come from bringing together the Universal School of Health, the doctors all around the world. I'm talking about there may be a couple of 100,000 doctors already involved in this Universal School of Health top 100 doctor. Hundreds of thousands of doctors are participating in the education process already. And you know how many doctors that would be in 200 countries? That's a lot. So that's a base. And we look for bases that we can bring in. One good news is that ONPASSIVE has been granted the seal of acceptance by the Hippocratic oath seal of the Universal School of Health. So they've already been assessed to be a reputable, good company. And that means that they can do business together. And that's a very solid plus. Only companies that have been given that seal of approval can do business with the Universal School of Health. So we're gathering, the doctors of the world are gathering in Sardinia, Italy next year. And so I'm just telling you that ONPASSIVE will be uniting with people of substance and vision. And we want to make sure that everybody's aware that they can nominate somebody to be in the doctor's top 100 group. If you have doctors that you think are worthy in your area, those who have high reputation, who are contributing, who are doing something positive. And maybe we'll see them in Italy next summer. As we transition over into talking more in detail about Cademy, the remaking of the digital planet is essentially what we want to do in education. We want to bring Cademy into the front line of the game changing for education. We want it to be the main one that people look to. And so we can bring order into the system with Cademy. So, you know, that the current system as it is, it's universities, it's colleges, it's classrooms that we sit in front of instructors drawing on a board. That's something that we're used to. We've done it, but there's been a change. There's chaos that has come into the world through COVID and the pandemic. What I saw as a young student was I had to put out a lot of effort and a lot of money to gain knowledge. Well, when we got shut in at home, that opportunity went away for many people. And if we hadn't had the systems starting to be developed like Zoom and WebEx and whatnot, we would not have been able to do these projected meetings. But we did fortunately have the ability by this time to do the projected meetings. And so that technology has been increasing year after year. But what we do know that there are restrictions on the ability for everybody in the world to access these systems. They cost a lot. They're not universally available. There are limitations in how long the free ones will go and how many people can be on a free thing. You've got to start paying $100, $500, $1,000 to have a sizable audience. And so what we want is to have an organized, complete online system, which is what Cademy is. So what we're going to be doing now is sharing the answer to the problems. If we can have the answers to the problems, that means we're going to meet the needs of the people and that they will become customers of this solution. They will become resellers of this solution if they really want to benefit themselves with an income in additions. So that's important as we go forward, knowing that answers to problems lead to solutions that include having a second income for a family. There are only 1/2 of 1% of companies that offer a solution like that. We are the pioneer in that area, that we can have solution A and solution B. Does Cademy provide the answer? That's the question. Does Cademy provide the answer? What we ask of the dean of the School of Universal Health, she asked the question, does your product meet these criteria? So you be the judge. You look at what we do. Can we adjust our viewing of the timeline? Is it available on demand? Or do you have to show up when it's live? Well, we already know the answer to that. We can actually go in and have a flexibility that's built in. We can allow the access to the learner anytime they want it, not just when the teacher gives the class. It can be recorded and saved and viewed later. But if they want to be interactive, they can view it live. And when there's interactivity, there's many more options. So the courses will be many and varied. We'll have thousands of courses. Just in the medical area alone, we'll have tens of thousands of courses available from 6 different disciplines. And so if you look at the field of engineering, the field of artificial intelligence, there's tens of thousands of courses in those fields. What if you get into what Ash wants, is to have a public education for the lower grades, first grade through high school, and then into the technical area. If you look at the things that they could put courses on there could be hundreds of thousands of courses available on Cademy, and people can search through them. They can find exactly what they want. They can take the courses and they can schedule them when they want. They could be in one class at 2:00 in the morning if they want to, and it doesn't matter because it's recorded. So these things are what we're looking for in a platform. I think the majority of people would get the most out of a live class when you're interacting one-on-one with an instructor, so you can have the time to ask questions. Just like you do a live webinar here with ONPASSIVE, you get the most when you're looking directly and you can ask questions. You can be in the chat room and you can see people's faces and you can ask questions. But that's not always easy. It's not always possible. But what we do is we have the ability to upload videos. And most of the doctors out there, when they teach, a lot of them have prepared videos that they want to upload. And so they will put the course together once and play it 10 times, 20 times, 30 times a month. And so they don't have to spend all their time teaching the same course over and over. That's one of the things I found. I taught one course in orthodontics and TMJ head and neck pain. And I taught for 5 years that one course for the same institute, 2 days every month for 5 years. I went all over the country teaching the same course, saying the same thing every time. And that was very inefficient. If I could have put it on video once and then replayed it, that would have given 100 times, maybe 1,000 times more people the chance to see it, because it didn't have to travel to a specific location on a specific day. If it was uploaded in a video, they could have watched it anytime, right? And so the tutors can upload their videos, the students can access them at any time. That opens up learning all across the globe. And better than anything, when I say across the globe, it means the future of ONPASSIVE is that we're going to have our websites in every language. So you can actually read it in your own language, not have to learn English first. And that's a major benefit for people that don't learn English from the ground up. Not only that, but the lectures will be translated simultaneously in multiple languages with our advanced learning system. And that's going to be probably the one thing that breaks open the door to us being the most popular product out there. When we can do this successfully, then we can teach any language to any other language. That's groundbreaking. Nobody does that. And so I'm looking forward to that being where I can teach somebody my lecture and it'll be heard in Mandarin or Japanese or Hindi or some other language. That's going to be an exciting day for instructors and probably a much more exciting day for students. Of course, the best language learning platforms will be interactive, where we can go in and draw and create things and have students participate. I might ask a question, you might answer. And it would be not only just in voice, but on writing on the same board. These things will just take us into another level. When we have distraction, detection, it's going to remind me of something that happened when I was teaching in Denver, Colorado. I was sitting there giving a lecture that was quite boring, actually, and I've been going on for hours because I would teach about 16 hours in 2 days. And I know my voice gets old after 16 hours. And so I would have people sleeping in the corner, and I didn't have a way to wake them up unless I threw an eraser over on and bounce it off their heads, right? So I didn't want to do that. But distraction detection could be very useful for us to wake people up if they're dozing off, or at least we would understand that maybe we're boring and we need to perk it up. We need to change our voice inflection. We need to raise our hands and jump around and get people to stand up and maybe do some interactive motion exercise, which, a good speaker will do that. They'll get people up from their seats on a regular basis and have them do something that causes them to move. Raise their hand, stand up if you believe this, something that is physical and gets their attention. And so we need to have that availability even on video when you're doing distance learning. We can analyze everything. We have this sentience now that's been talked about where it understands your emotions. And so if you have an angry crowd that you're speaking to, they're not going to be learning, right? If they're joyous, they're going to be having a good time. They're going to learn better. So you'll have that information at your fingertips as you're speaking if you're an instructor. And that's going to make things very fun for the instructors to understand their audience and where the audience is along the way. Now, there's always trouble with problems with setup and how to fix this and how to log in. And sometimes we need chat support, and it's going to be immediate 24/7. And we're going to have backup with voice in the background. And so everything is going to be helpful with the ONPASSIVE techniques. And it'll allow us to work from home much easier. If you're an instructor, you don't have to travel around the world. I really like to talk about income potential for people who teach, because I've been a teacher for over 35 years. And it was always my secondary income to practicing dentistry. I always enjoyed multiple sources of income. I enjoyed diversity in interaction with people. And, you know, we always said that a dentist has got golden handcuffs holding them down to the chair to make their income. Unless you go out and create something additional, you always were losing money if you left your office. And so I chose to do hobbies that created an income. And so my hobby was creating webinars and creating slideshows and traveling to teach. And I would get to travel to Toronto and to Calgary and Italy, Japan, different places around the world. And when I taught, sometimes I went for free, sometimes I got expenses only. And every now and then I would get an honorarium, which would be a small amount of money to travel. But it was never as much as I made in my practice. So I would eventually be losing money anytime I taught. But now with Cademy and the video content that we could put into our data bank and keep it there and sell it to people on a as they want it basis, then we'll be able to have residual income coming in, having taught once, recorded it, and let it be played multiple times. So for instructors, that's a major benefit. And if we could upload 20 videos of our best course material, and somewhere around the world, somebody wants to learn how to do what we used to call the 90-second crown prep. If it takes most dentists 5 minutes to prepare a crown and you could do it in 90 seconds, do you think doctors would like to learn that technique? Do you think that patients would like to have their tooth drilled on for 5 minutes or 90 seconds? See, there's advantages to being fast and efficient as a dentist. And that's what I used to teach, was efficiency techniques that would allow faster, easier, safer treatments for patients. And so those kind of things are what you can put up online, and people will just rush to get the knowledge. In every field of dentistry, medicine, optometry, every field of engineering has those same step-saving techniques that you can do faster, better, and safer. So if you were a student, how would you like to start taking a class and put to use what you learn and start making money? And by the time you finished your 2 or 3 years of study, not have any debt because you were making money as you were working through your classwork. And especially with ONPASSIVE, that's going to be a gem, because as you create usage of ONPASSIVE, you're going to get people to join by the viral nature. They're going to become customers of yours, and they're going to become resellers of yours, and they're going to actually set up a residual income for you as you go to school. Now, that's going to be a major benefit. You can get a lifetime residual income just from taking classes if you're a member of ONPASSIVE. You have to teach people how to do that, though. It's not going to happen just automatically. You have to break the ice and say, okay, you're a customer, but if you would like to be making money as a customer, you have to invite 2 or 3 other people in to view it. And then if they like it, then you'll start getting your cost of ONPASSIVE paid for. And then if it keeps growing, you'll get an income. So that's how it's going to happen. So to review, we're going to be in over 108 languages. We're going to have classes that are available one-on-one, just you in a private meeting. You know, my daughter-in-law is a psychologist, and she counsels people every day, about 6 to 8 people every day, in Africa, Middle East, Europe, and United States. She does it from Atlanta, Georgia. She counsels people one-on-one through the medium of Zoom. But as soon as we release Connect, there's a really good chance that she can migrate everybody over to Connect, and an ONPASSIVE membership will happen for many of them because they like what they see. And when they like what they see, they're going to all become her customers. And then she'll become paid for the counseling, and she'll also get a residual income from their membership in ONPASSIVE. And so you can see how that benefits even the one-on-one teachers. But if you teach one-to-many, and we have over 315 people, when I started talking just now, I could be talking to 315 people on any subject, and each one of them, if they logged in for the first time to Cademy or Connect to hear what I was saying, each one of those logging in would become my customer for life if they had never been in ONPASSIVE before. So this is the way it works, and this is the ONPASSIVE advantage. So we have built-in payment systems. We have category-wise filtration where you can study and find out the details about a course before you go into it. And for the instructors, you can upload everything all at once, and you have a lot of adjustment on how you can listen. You can speed it up, slow it down. The worldwide growth in online instruction is going to grow bigger and bigger. In last year, it was about $250 billion, and it'll grow up to $1 trillion within 3 or 4 years as we get more and more advanced. With ONPASSIVE being the main program, I think that people will go to, we'll reach the $1 trillion mark worldwide in that industry. We'll be the one that probably has the biggest market share if we look at what's possible. We have many doctors who are coming on board. One of our newest doctors also is Albana from Albania. And she is a lady that I did a podcast with. She joined ONPASSIVE. She joined the doctors group with Dr. Shaw. And so it's word of mouth, it's sharing. And as you become a teacher, you share. And so everyone who is a teacher really is an important person. And so we want people that are teaching to really know that they're valued. And if you are a teacher, we value what you do to contribute to society. And we want to give you a way to express yourself. And we want you not to be at the control always of the administration, of the bureaucrats, of the government, those people that would hold you back. We want to give you the freedom. And so the thing about it is, if you become a teacher in an academy with ONPASSIVE as your backup, you can lead the untethered life. The untethered life is one with total freedom. Ash talked about CATMO TF, total time freedom, total money freedom. The untethered life means that you're not tied down to any one thing or place, and that you have the freedom to do the things you'd like to do. So we want to give your learning a new beginning, and we want to help you master skills as students that give you an endless repertoire of courses to take. And today really is the first day of the rest of your life. We want to give your learning a new beginning. As we said, what do you want to become? If you think about it, what is it that you're missing? What do you want to become in life? In our land of ONPASSIVE, the land of abundance, I think anything's possible. But if you're going to have anything new in your life, you have to add things to what you already know. And so education is one of the keys to that creation and achievement of that abundance. So with that, I want to go back to you, Dr. Derek and Debbie, and all the fine folks at the Dream Team, and we can have more fun together.
Wow, wow, wow. Dr. Bill, I have to say, I'm doing my student teacher thing by clapping. Thank you so much. You started your presentation when we had 315 guests, and now we're almost 400. So that tells you that no one left, but we had more people who were so thirsty and eager for knowledge, and they came here and you gave them what we were looking forward to. And there were so many hands coming up and coming up. I hope you have time, because I have people on the forum who would love to ask questions, and they're dying for this moment. So,
yeah, I'm glad to do that. My only regret is I haven't seen the new Academy, which I wanted to be able to report something that was revolutionary new that I knew about, but I don't, because we haven't seen it. But as soon as it comes out, we'll be doing new explanations and, you know, markups of all the new opportunities that have been added to the process. So I'm looking forward to it just as much as you are.
We're looking forward to you coming here and giving those information again. Wow, it's been, my mind has just been blown, mind blowing. Thank you, Dr. Bill. What a wonderful presentation.
Well, that's the voice of our host, Dr. Patience. You may not be seeing her, but she's hiding in the, she's my my co-moderator today. And Dr. Bill, I hope that you can come back and present to us Connect and other sweet, lovely, juicy things that you have to share with us. We hope your schedule will allow you to come back again.
Yeah, thank you.
At this point, I will say we're going to take questions and answers for Dr. Bill since he's available. Please, if you have any questions with the presentation, we thank the previous presenters as well, and our, you know, our word of the day person, our sister Lorato. I can see you there. You know, you opened that heart, you opened the door, and now, you know, with the updates and everything, it's time for questions and answers. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Your virtual hand is right there, and in the meantime, I'm sure we have something in the chat as well. So this is time for questions and answers, please.
Sister Debbie, yes, the chat, the people can put their questions in the chat. We're monitoring them, but I just want to report that the chat is on fire, all with tremendous words of appreciation for everything that Dr. Bill has shared. The number of thank yous in the chat, I don't even think I can count.
All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. I know I saw one from somebody that I really wanted to get some clarification from. I think it's Lu, L-O. I didn't quite understand the question, so I wanted to see if that person is still around to ask Dr. Bill the question directly, because I didn't understand from the chat what it was meant.
So, Lou, if you can raise your virtual hand, go on reaction.
Luma is the name.
Go on reaction and raise your virtual hand. While we're waiting for Luma to raise the virtual hand, we're going to call on Janice. Janice, you can go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Dr. Bill, and hi, everybody.
Hey, Janice.
My question, I'll try to put it in the best way I can. My question is that I have an account for my little 10-year-old friend. And the 10-year-old friend have a 18-year-old, I believe, who is in college right now. How is it possible that they can go on Academy to learn something?
And there won't be any age limit. So that's first, you know, you can go on and take classes. There'll be a directory to study what you want to learn. And Academy is not something that ONPASSIVE is going to fill up with courses only. I think I heard that there's some technical courses that may be already added because of, you know, certain computer languages and things that they have maybe gotten people to upload courses, but it's going to be up to the individuals of the world to populate Academy's courses. We are a platform for teachers, and all teachers in the world can participate. And there's a few requirements of what needs to be done to put the best material up. You can't throw junk in there and expect it to be accepted, right? It's got to be something about it that's a level of excellence, we call it. It's got to be ONPASSIVE excellent. And so if you teach cooking, if you teach sewing, if you teach handicrafts, that can be in there. Auto mechanics, how to maintain a swimming pool, how to grow a garden, not just how to do mathematics, how to do a language, learn a language, but anything that a student wants to learn. You know, my granddaughter's in the 2nd grade, and the level of things that they learn in the 2nd grade is very different from what I would teach to graduate level dentists, right? And it's up to the teachers of the world to put the content online. And so they should do that. And you should make a plan to put up your material that you think is valuable. And, you know, there's going to be areas for spiritual training. There's going to be areas for technical training. There will be people that are giving away courses for free. You may want to have a course on setting goals and achievement and have basically a motivational, educational system of management of how to relate to people. You know, everything that was said by Dale Carnegie, everything that was said by Napoleon Hill would make an excellent course. And a lot of us teach those kind of things. I saw that there was something about Werner Erhard on the message board today. How many of y'all took a class from Werner Erhard? Well, you know, the things that Werner talked about were a huge impact in the 1970s. And a lot of us were at the training. A lot of us have been there and done that, but most of you are not old enough to have ever been a part of that. And so it's up to Willow to do that, right? And others, those who have been there. And there's a lot of wisdom in the old days that needs to get passed on to the new people. Bob Proctor passed away this year. Bob was one of my mentors, and he was one who was involved in The Secret. And so everything that's been done in the past that has value should be passed along. We have novels and books from the old days, from Hippocrates in medicine, Socrates in philosophy, Sir Isaac Newton in physics. And so these days are not the only days where people think and are smart. So we need to bring educational information to the new people that are just being born in this generation, to show them that they need to learn more than just about topical things that are seemingly related to what's going on today in the world. A lot of what happened in the past is very valuable.
Thank you, Dr. B. And Sister Janet, I hope you have the answer Dr. Bill has given to your satisfactory. Sister Bennett, Sister Debbie, and Sister Yvonne, I know she's not highlighted. As you guys keep an eye on the chat, let me know when there's a question on the chat, why I pick the ones on the hands that are virtually open. So is there any question in the chat? So can we yes, pick one on the chat, and then we'll go to our Mama, Sister Willow next. Can you pick one in the chat, please?
If I could be permitted.
Okay.
The one with Luma.
Okay.
What the person is asking, well, he first must answer honestly. But is it AI face recognition or feeling recognition? Will those two recognition be saved? That's the question. Is face recognition, let me put it in kind of my words, is face recognition and feeling recognition, will those recognition be saved in Academy?
Will they be saved, or are they the same?
Saved, save, S-A-V-E-D, saved.
I have no clue about what's going to be saved and what's not, but I would think you have to save facial recognition for it to work.
Absolutely.
All right.
Loma, I hope you've had the answer. If you still need some clarification, please recraft your question. We'll get back to you.
It's an interesting question as to whether the AI system is going to remember you were mad on Tuesday, April 30th. Hopefully you'll be happier more days than you'll be mad.
So as we get ready for our team to pick a question,
it could be saved though, you know, Dr. Bill. It could be saved for tracking purposes of that person going through this course. You know, maybe it might be placed in a kind of analytic format.
It's possible.
Anything with AI and ONPASSIVE is possible. Just that we don't have that information now to give a thumbs up to that question, but it is possible that it could be saved or will be saved because it will maybe in time to come that could give us the fluctuation of that person's behavior in that particular course or something like that. So it's possible that it can be saved. We just don't know as yet that it will be saved.
All right. So, and I'll take Sister Willow hand, the next Sister Debbie and Tim. Look at whether we have any questions in the chat. We'll do that. We'll go back and forward, chat and hand. Sister Willow, go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much for recognition. I appreciate it. I just want to have one thing to say first, Dr. Bill, to the group that's running this webinar. I have been fortunate to visit 3 or 4 times incognito because half the time I look like I've been pulled through a knothole. So I didn't want to come on camera. But Dr. Daly, beautiful, beautiful Verona and Patience and all of them really give us an example of excellence. And I am so very privileged. John is another one that I absolutely fell in love with I think two webinars back, you know, and that gorgeous smile. But I just wanted to recognize what an excellent job you do. And Marty kept telling me, and I said, well, Sundays are kind of busy in my corner of the world. But I am so very happy to be here and to be recognized and treated with respect. I'm totally honored. Now, on to Dr. Bill. I have seen your vision and I have seen your presentations. And I have to say, this is one of the best. And I hope you'll go to every webinar and put it out there because O Academy is at the bottom of many of our hearts. I know I have went to school I'm 82 years old now, and I have went to school for the last 60 years. Like Dr. Bill, I can't remember a year that I didn't go and attend subclasses or I was teaching a class or I did this or that. And I'm crazy about education. So at 82 years old, I'm looking forward to whatever they can bring to O Academy. I intend to attend everything that I can. And so I think that this is, everybody talks about O Connect, which I think is, I do my business through Zoom. So O Connect to me is going to be an absolute game changer. But O Academy is going to be what we need to move and reset our economies in the world and reset our ways of thinking. It's going to be the most valuable, I believe, of any product ONPASSIVE has. And I just want to say to those of you that are a little bit discouraged right now, hold together because we've got surprises in the future. That's, you know, if I can wait at 82 years old, you know, and not throw rocks at everybody. I know you can too. we just are all kind of nervous, you know, about the future, and especially with the things that are rolling out in the news. So I tell you, have faith. If it wasn't for my faith in God, I'd have given up a long time ago. And I decided to switch my faith to a man that I knew was a visionary and that was going to lead us through the darkness that was coming. And Dr. Bill is his prophet. My friend Marty is my sweet friend of my heart. And I don't see how we can lose with ONPASSIVE. I just want you to know, don't give up. Don't ever give up. That's one thing I've learned in 82 years. Don't give up. And when I looked at that beautiful girl, Verona, just coming in and lighting up the world, we look at our kids and they have something to offer us that we all better celebrate, because they're going to be our leaders very soon and already are. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, all of you in the Dream Team. You are a dream team, and just keep doing Dr. Derek and Verona and patience and comfort, and keep doing what you're doing because it's valuable. And thank you, Dr. Bill, for the best presentation I've seen you give. It was magnificent.
Thanks, Willow.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot, Sister Willow. You inspire me. I see Mama Edith too is up. That's another person that inspired me. But let me check with my team whether they have any questions on the chat. And then we'll go to Mama Edith next.
Yes, please.
All right, go ahead, Sister Sister Benny.
Sorry, I will start here at the bottom from, by the way, hi, Dr. Bill. Welcome, welcome. And thank you so much. Superb presentation as well. This question is from Samson. Is there any tool to prevent people from learning from ONPASSIVE with one person who paid the service, with multiple people learning together because of increase of faith?
I don't think we're going to have any limitation if more people want to gather in a room and watch. I don't think ONPASSIVE is going to interfere with that right now. I think it's going to be an open door to teach through that one portal to whoever's in the room. That's my impression. They're not going to be trying to limit what you can have. They're trying to be able to give more of what they have to more people. So I don't think they will limit it. I think if you have a classroom full of people, the classroom will learn. I do know there's a sharing feature where you can actually share with someone, and that's probably meant to share with your family. So sharing is part of the plan, and I don't know how far the sharing will go. However, the details are in the fine print, and the fine print is not yet available.
Wow. Whoever asked the question, Sam, I hope you've heard it. This is very good news for, especially us from motherland, which funds can be tight, that all our children can be educated, have quality education. So before I go back to the chat, Mama Edith from South Africa, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My head is spinning. Thank you very much, Dr. Bill. The presentation has been wonderful, but it left my head spinning. I don't know whether Alzheimer is going to catch up with me. Hi, Sister Willow. I'm 78, right? Now, I want to find out, Dr. Bill, from the professional group, I heard you talk about doctors, and I heard that you said you have included other health workers. Where I come from, we group ourselves as health professionals. Are the nurses part of that? Because that's where I came from.
In this particular group, nurses are not part of it. They've limited it to doctors who have a degree, and I'm not sure why it would be limited to that particular level of training, but at this point, nurses are not part of the Universal School of Health.
What about the nurses that are the doctoral nurses and professor nurses?
If there's a doctorate degree in nursing, then they will be included. Yeah, there's doctorate degrees in many areas that can be included. I think they're just looking for the highest level of training in each profession, the ones that are in control, ones who are ultimately responsible. So if there's somebody who's got that level of responsibility in education at the doctor level, they're probably going to be included.
Yes. My head is not right. I come from the technical side of nursing, operating theaters, but I also come from the development side. Now, as you were talking, I was busy thinking, okay, I'm also very much on the O-bless angle. My teaching is more interested in the teaching of the ordinary people on the ground, where we talk about the prevention and the promotion of health, where in broad terms we say, let's put the health in the hands of the people. Now, I'm busy debating in my mind, how do we then, at the O-bless level, work with the cademy and actually teaching our ordinary men and women, the older people of my age in particular. You may not answer me, you may just consume what I'm saying, because myself, the information has just been too much, and I was also trying to unwrangle my own computer in terms of what I've been doing day in and day out. And I'm thinking of, as a country where I come from, we've been having a policy of primary health care, comprehensive primary health. We have not dealt with that because it deals with, besides prevention of diseases, is provision of jobs, of houses, water, sanitation, food security, because that's all about promotion of health. Thank you.
That's a good question, Edith. Many questions actually were raised when you say what you did. Before I answer, I'll tell you this. I've been to South Africa and loved your country. It's beautiful. It's so friendly. Many, many people should visit South Africa for its beauty and its culture. And when I can come back, that'll be a great day. Tabletop Mountain overlooking Cape Town. What a view. Kruger National Park. What a sanctuary for animals. Everything about South Africa that I've seen is wonderful. Now, as far as teaching prevention is the secret to health. You know, in dentistry, we have mastered prevention better than medicine. And people believe in preventive dentistry a lot more than preventive medicine. And so it's no secret that dentists are the most desired profession to be in America. I don't know if y'all know that, but we're seen as more honorable than medicine. And a lot of it's because we don't deal with just diseases. We deal with preventing disease, and we focus on it on a 100% of our patient basis. And we're successful to a large degree in preventing most of dental problems. We can prevent dentistry problems almost 100% other than accidents. So if you say you want to improve the health of people, you have to invest in prevention. And prevention is separate for every type of problem. If you want to prevent heart disease, then you have to look at diet and exercise. If you want to prevent diabetes, you have to look at diet and the control of sugar and carbohydrates. So there are things you can do to prevent. And we're learning more and more as we go along, the environmental factors that lead to diseases. Thankfully, we're combating in many areas of the world infectious disease very well. I was reading today about tuberculosis vaccine in Africa for little children, being able to stop other disease problems also because it enhances the immune system. And so as we learn more about what works, we spread that information around and we develop public health criteria to treat people in a better way. And so new information comes out every day about what causes an increase in health. And that study out of Australia that talks about immunizations in small children stopping other diseases later in life was a magnificent study, an example of what can we do to stop problems before they start. So that's my answer, is more people teaching the public before they get to the doctor. You know, and that kind of teaching can be done by non-doctors. Nurses, lay people can all teach prevention because it's got to be made more popular. It's got to be made more fun. We should have gamification of prevention to where children in school learn how to play games that highlight preventive actions, because gamification really does lock things in and make it fun to learn. How many hours a day does my grandson turn on YouTube and look at cars, cartoons of cars? I'll tell you, it's hours a day that they would do it if they could. Why not turn that into some kind of a fun prevention message instead of just play toys with cars? We need to address the kids at the lower level with cartoons and messages in the cartoons that talk about healthy choices. Stay away from the drugs, doing things that are right. So that's kind of my answer of what can be done. And I think Cademy is a perfect place to put thousands of positive messages up aimed at children.
Thank you, Dr. Bill. Mama Edith, you have more questions or you done?
No.
Okay, thank you, Mama Edith. And the team, any question on the chat before I take the next one up?
Yes, let me just conclude. We have Samson again. Let's just, Samson said, will ONPASSIVE founders pay to learn from Cademy?
There will be free courses and paid courses. You have to pay for some courses because the instructors put them up as pay per play. Because you're in a founder position doesn't mean everything's free, as far as I understand it. Now, maybe we'll have a discount. Maybe we'll have a few free ones. I don't know. But I'm betting that the instructors will want to be paid.
So Samson,
Yes, remember that, just if I could add, ONPASSIVE is the platform of which all of us have access as founders to the platform, which means you can, as an instructor, like you have something to teach, you can upload it. But Bill Williams, Dr. Bill Williams, have a course that maybe it's an accredited course, which it costs X amount of dollars. That is not ONPASSIVE now. That is Dr. Bill Williams. So you're going to have to pay for that course, because you have to understand that you're also going to be getting accredited for that course, or you may be getting a diploma or a certificate or all of that. All of that is going to be provided by the person giving the course, because it's not ONPASSIVE giving the course. ONPASSIVE provides the platform. The instructors are giving the course. And yes, as Dr. Bill Williams says, some of them will be free.
Thank you, Brother Derek, for that addition. So I will take the next answer. We just got a question from the chat. Hopefully, Samson, you've had the answer. And the next hand up is Brother Shaggy. Over to you, Brother Shaggy. Ask your question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bill, for this awesome presentation. Over the moment I've been a member since 2020, I think Mr. Ash has continued to build our confidence to know that the way is to better this platform. This whole ecosystem, every way is what the way, making things better. Your coming today and making this presentation even adds to the fact that we're in the right place and that the way is really what makes it better. And so I want to thank you for this presentation, which brings a lot of clarity to all the thinking of people who are not even active, because now they'll be able to see more clearly with a particular subject matter, one of the software that ONPASSIVE will be putting out there. And I'm glad, because my daughter is listening and she's a teacher, and I know she'll be excited that now she has a platform to do what she really has from our hearts to do, to teach young people. My question is, you mentioned about the Universal School of Health, and I'm assuming that's the base or foundation of ONPASSIVE. If I'm wrong, correct me. And if that is it, and how you have explained to this platform the qualification, peer review, and all sorts of things that make all the members to be the top notch in the world. Now, the question I ask with that, and with that as the base, how do you respond to the issue of accreditation for ONPASSIVE? Looking at that school, will courses presented be accredited by ONPASSIVE or by the school itself, which is the Universal School of Health? And your answer might make me have a follow-up, but this is an issue that I know a lot of us online and people that we introduce have been asking, how do you handle accreditation? Because I remember Dr. Derek mentioned that all these other platforms that do online education, the issue we have with them is accreditation. Now that we have this, great platform and your group already as the base, how would accreditation happen? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, well, let's get that clear, because it is a confusion thing to many people. ONPASSIVE is a platform. It has many products, and one of them is Cademy, one of them is ODIT, one of them is OCreate, and Universal School of Health is one teaching institution. The Academy of General Dentistry is another one I belong to. It's a teaching institution. And the American Dental Association is another institution that I belong to. Each one accredits classes as they wish with their own criteria, okay? ONPASSIVE will accredit no one. ONPASSIVE never, I assume, will never accredit anyone, but they perhaps will set up an entity whereby they will have an academy that may form that can accredit a group of people for taking certain classes. And so I don't think ONPASSIVE will ever be the accrediting body. There'll have to be a separate entity that accredits courses. And the Universal School of Health is not associated legally with ONPASSIVE at all. It's not part of ONPASSIVE. It's just somebody who would like to use the platform of Academy. And many of our members are in each one, right? So don't be confused about the connection being the base of all accreditation. If I want to have an accredited course, I must go to an accreditation body. And you can set your own up, or you can go through one that is already in existence. Now, if I'm talking about the Academy of General Dentistry, they have probably 100,000 members around the world. And they have a strong accreditation, and all dentists around the American continent, at least, want to belong to that and keep track of their courses. And they know that if they need to have for their license 20 hours a year, that anything that's accredited by the Academy of General Dentistry will count. But if you go to some places and get an accreditation from another place that's not very well organized, they may not count it towards your licensure. So that's important of accreditation, is you can be legal in certain places with certain licensure credentials. And it's important that you get licensed by an accredited group if you want to be well attended. See, a lot of people in medicine will not attend a class unless it's an accredited class, because they're not getting any credit. They might be getting knowledge, but they want to get accreditation also, so they can keep their licensure requirements up to date. If I have to take 20 hours and I have a choice between accredited and non-accredited, I'm taking typically the one that's accredited. So that's the deal. And don't be confused that ONPASSIVE accredits anybody right now.
Beautiful. If I could just add to that also, Dr. Patient.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we are confusing, as Dr. Bill says, ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE is not a school. ONPASSIVE is a digital, and at some point it is going to be a physical selling or marketing platform. But with the Academy platform, if, as Dr. Bill says, if his school, which is accredited, has this course of study, then it is accredited because the school is accredited. Now, if I go to one of these accredited institutions and I meet the criteria for my course of study, I have to do that, not ONPASSIVE, because I am putting this course of study on ONPASSIVE. Now, I, as the tutor or the teacher, would have to go to the accreditation board, because you can be accredited as a school, or you can be accredited as a course of study or the program that you want to be accredited. A lot of people think it's just a school that is accredited. No, if I have a course of study and I go to the board, the accrediting, one of the accredited platforms, and I say, listen, this course, they have certain criteria that I would need to meet. I meet these criteria, and I have the course of study that meet these criteria. Then this program that I have put forward to the accrediting board will be accredited. And now this course of study that I am offering is accredited. So when you do this course now of study on Academy, because I am the one put it up there, I am the one have it accredited, now you will get the accreditation. So that is the format with ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE, so ONPASSIVE can actually get, if they so desire, certain courses or certain thing, if they so desire. But for now, we just know that school, like Dr. Bill Williams schools, accredited. And if I want, or if Shaggy wants a course of study, or if Dr. Benny has a course of study, especially like how she do security, cyber security, and all of that lovely stuff, she can get that accreditation, put the stuff on ONPASSIVE Academy, and it will be an accredited course. Thank you.
Dr. Ajongwe, quickly, let me just do a follow-up, Dr. Bill. I quite understand all that. And my concern is what would distinguish all academy from all the other school is the key issue here. So what I wanted to hear from Dr. Bill, which he has explained, is there a plan in the future to have what you just mentioned, like a board of accreditation based on all these things that you guys have in plan, that will look at some courses, that these courses, we have this accreditation board that they're not entirely, maybe ONPASSIVE does not own them, but they are accredited board that are, I don't want to say affiliated, but means when you come to ONPASSIVE and you take a certificate program, not only will you get certificate of attendance or completion, but there is a board. See, because my concern is all these other platforms that have been doing what ONPASSIVE is doing as the same issue. And I think, and I understand what you said, that for now, no. But in the future, would there be a plan? Maybe you don't know the answer. Would there be a way to just take us above, the group, the other platforms, to say, okay, there is a board. Because I know a board. I'm in IT. No matter what course I take, I have to go back to the different organizations and take my certification to say, I'm a Scrum Master, I'm a cyber professional, and all the different agents. Without those certificates, it doesn't report my job. Until I get them, my job doesn't know I took the course. I can tell them I know it, but it doesn't. So I understand that. But I was thinking that maybe there's a plan in the future. Maybe you don't know, but just to say that we become better off because we have this board, which makes us look like a mini university. That I was to have to look for university. That's where I'm thinking. Thank you for your time, because I know other people's answer up.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Shaggy, for that. As we have heard,
Dr. Patience?
Yes.
Please, I see Tabata Young from our Singapore team. She's a leader. I can no longer find her. I can no longer find her. If you do find her, make her co-host. Thank you very much.
All right, that's great. I think we still have a little bit of mix up here. Academy is not a university; it's a software, just like Udemy. If most of you do education in the US, you might have taken hybrid courses, some of them online. The university have to first be accredited, and not all the courses in a university is accredited. So you always have to, it's a two-phase, the institution, then the cost of study. So we have had the answer, Dr. B, thank you. So Dr. B, what I heard Dr. B said is that their universal hubs have got their courses accredited. So when they load it up into Academy, you come there and take that course and you successfully complete it, you will have completed an accredited course. That's what my understanding is. But I think now I'll take Vita's hand, then the team online, check the next question online. Brother Vita, you can go ahead and ask your question, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Patience. And Dr. Bill, we feel so honored and for you to be here today, so honored and privileged and excited that you're here today. And you can see that you fill the house, and there's a lot of people here watching and listening to you, and kudos to you, sir. My two passions are education and healthcare, and you represent those two. My question is there can an institution of learning or an individual do live interactive teaching, or is just uploading of videos?
Academy will allow for both. That's the good news. You know, it's going to be classroom style, like you're sitting there interacting. You have the ability to do polls. You'll be able to have people speak back and forth, draw on the same board, whiteboards. There's probably features and benefits that we don't know about. And that's why I kind of apologize for not knowing more, because nobody knows more. When we find out this full scope of Academy, it'll probably blow us away.
Oh, and that's the reason why I had gifted my alma mater a position in Unpassive, primarily for that reason of Academy and also for scholarships. So I'm happy to hear that you can do interactive as well as video uploading. Thank you very much for your presence here, sir. And those are my questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Victor. I hope you have a satisfactory answer from Dr. Bill today.
Yes.
All right.
I was very pleased to know that you are able to do both.
That is good.
And,
go ahead.
That I can stay in Jamaica and teach a class live in Japan, in their language. That's powerful.
And you'll be able to get yen put into your old wallet and spend them in Jamaica.
Whoa. Yes, sir.
That is wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you much. Thank you much.
Before I go back to Sister Willow, is there any question on the chat? The team looking? Okay, I see Dr. Benny is noting.
Yes.
What's the question,
Yes.
please?
From Abimbola. Will the learning in our academy be seasonal, term, or any time that students can resume?
Yes, the Academy can be paused and turned on and off, and you can save your time and place in a class, so it's very convenient in that regard. I know that's going to be true for recorded webinars. Live webinars, I would assume they're going to record the live ones and have them back for replay also. So I think we're going to be fully functional in that way.
Thank you.
So who asked the question again, Dr. Benny?
Abim Bola.
Okay, Abim Bola, if you see on, and give us a thumb up that you've had your answer, you're satisfactory. If you have a follow-up question, please just put it back in the chat. And I'll go back to Sister Willow. Sister Willow,
Abim Bola.
This is a global village, global city.
Yeah.
Please bear with us if we don't pronounce your name right. We are trying. Sister Willow, over to you.
You know, I wanted to address beautiful Edith from South Africa, when she was speaking of lessons from our learned wisdom keepers, you know, as we call them in the Native American groups. We always went to our wisdom keepers for advice. I'm part Native American, half Oglala Sioux, and half Irish. Well, my mother was an Irish leprechaun, I know, in her past life. So we went to our elders to learn valuable life lessons. And I was pleased to know that Ash was a proponent of that kind of education. I teach every day, 10 hours a day. I teach how to manage your sacred energetic body that you inhabit, how to understand your chakras, how to understand your electric and magnetic body, energetic bodies. And we're going to have those kind of things because as basically we're tribal people. We go back to those that teach us how to live at our beginning of our lives. And so tribal education, I believe, is one of the most underrated educations in the world, especially for my friends in Australia. When we start looking at our mentors in our lives, the world is shifting. There's going to be a reset here, Edith. And we're going to go back to those that are wisdom keepers, those that are going to help us meet life in a different fashion. And a lot of those are women. In the Native American tribes, women are held in high esteem. And that is going to be a thing of the future, Edith. So do not fear that the nurses are not going to be recognized, because trust me, they're going to come out in force that if they're not allowed in one group, they're going to make their own. And ONPASSIVE leveled the playing field. We have a way. If you want to find out how to manage your chakras, you'll find a class there. If you want to get accreditation, you might attend an accredited class online and go and challenge your college class and not have to pay for it. So, there's ways. That's how I got through my college. I was working full time. I had 9 kids at home. 4 of them were not mine. They were children that come to live with us. However, they were my kids and I was responsible for them. I couldn't go and pay the fees that were necessary for every class I had to take for accreditation. So I went to the bookstore, the college bookstore. I bought the text that was being taught for the class. I practically memorized it from the beginning to the end. I challenged the class, took the test, passed it, and I didn't have to attend one class that way. And so it saved me thousands of dollars. We're going to have a function here that's going to be affordable for all of us to learn. And I have friends that have co-op schools for their children because they're not going to put them into schools to be shot and abused and persecuted just to get an education. They're creating co-op schools. ONPASSIVE's Academy has the perfect platform coming up for those parents. There's a group in Kentucky that has 30 mothers and fathers that created a co-op for their children. And each one of those parents donate a certain amount of time to the co-op for the children. But we had a platform they could use on ONPASSIVE through grades 1 to 12. Oh my God, they're going to jump on it because these people are creating as they go. Their children are going into college with scholarships because they're so academically superior, education-wise, from what they get in the standard colleges. So Edith, do not give up hope. Those of you who teach from the heart are going to have a place in this new reset that's coming up. And those that understand the function of education and take it out of profit, where they don't just profit off your back and you're in debt for the rest of your life so you can earn a living. I'm sorry, that's changing. And it's going to be changed by women. I have classes on a daily basis for battered women who were brought up to believe they weren't worth anything. They can't afford to go to college. They can't afford a college class, let alone feed their babies. ONPASSIVE is going to open that door and liberate brilliant minds that way. There are women that I counsel that I should get on my knees and thank them for being my friend. They're that brilliant. So when Ash told me 3.5 years ago, he was leveling the playing field for people like me, I believed him. I still do. And I want you to do that also, because we've got things to teach, Edith, darling. You touched my heart so much, I wish you were back and you could hear what I had to say. I have a friend in Australia who's an Aborigine. He probably has more insight in his little finger than half of the professors that I attended college for. He knows about the land. He knows about the people. He knows about your heart. He knows how to survive when the drought comes. He knows how to grow rosemary, like I love rosemary. And he knows so many things. And I've been trying to encourage him to teach online, Edith. I know what you're saying because the nurses can afford to get so far, and then their kind of doors slam shut and they can't go any farther. Unpassive, darling Edith, is going to open the door for them. If you don't believe anything else you hear, believe that. Believe that. For the battered women, for the nurses of the world, for those old folks like me who still want to learn, we're going to have it all with ONPASSIVE. Now I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say all of that. I just wanted to address you because I saw the worry on your face, Edith. And I saw the concern in your heart. And I couldn't let it go. I just had to reach out and let you know you're a wise woman with a great spirit. Don't ever let anybody hold you back. Because we're gonna rise up in ways they won't even expect, darling. So thank you, Edith, for listening to me. I'm glad you come back on, honey girl. I wanted to hug you across the world. So that's all I had to say. Dr. Bill, you're just an example of excellence all the way around. And so is the group here. So thank you for having me. I hope I didn't get too over the board here, but I just wanted to talk to her because she touched me. When I look back at all the struggles I had to go to school. My God, people didn't know you had to decide, do you want to get a better job or do you want to feed your kids? That was our, that's what we had to do. And when Ash told me in his sincere way, he says, Willow, I'm leveling the playing field. And he met us and you, and sweet face Patience, beautiful Verona, even Dr. Derek. I see doctors, they get their degrees and they never go back to school. They don't know, they don't even have a clue what's going on. I went to a doctor not too very long ago. I wanted to deck him.
Thank you, Sister Willow. Thanks for the word of encouragement. You are just an inspiration to all of us.
Thank you.
Such a great personality. Thanks for encouraging us. You're putting some of us to shame, so I'll have to go back. I struggled after 2 years to stop going to school. But
oh no, don't ever quit, don't ever quit, don't ever quit.
After 50 years, but it looks like I'm going to go back. So before I go to King, is the team online? Is there any other question on the chat, please?
Yes, there's something from Pragnesh in India.
Go ahead.
And the question goes, how many types of courses are available with beginning like primary, higher, secondary, and colleges?
Right now, we have not started to open the door for people to put courses in from the public. I think maybe Ash has filled the courses up with some technical IT type of things that would be useful for engineers, because he's got a whole team of engineers in Hyderabad that are probably sharing information about their courses. But right now, it's not open. And so there are no courses that we know of that have been added. You have to remember, ONPASSIVE as a group is not responsible for filling up the course content. Most of the content will come from the public.
Thank you, Dr. Bill. Back to you, Patience.
Now, I did want to add one more thing.
Go ahead.
Ash made a statement that he wants to see worldwide educational opportunity that ONPASSIVE puts together and sponsors. so that children all around the world can have elite education through ONPASSIVE and Academy. And so ONPASSIVE may sponsor some pretty advanced first grade through 12 learning opportunity. That may happen. It is Ash's goal, but it's not been done yet. Let's let that happen once we launch.
Thank you, Dr. Bill. Who asked the question, Sister Debbie? We just want to hopefully.
Pragnesh.
Okay, Pragnesh, if you are still online, you've heard it. And we are not live yet, so there are no courses, but the goal is that we'll have courses every level from accredited courses, so our children can learn in the comfort from their home. Kings Israel, can you unmute yourself and ask your question, please?
The Bluetooth disconnection.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone on Perseverance. I'm really thrilled to be part of ONPASSIVE. Dr. Bill, hello. I don't know how to say. In fact, I'm always happy whenever I'm online. I wanted to ask some questions to our CEO, the man with a golden heart, but unfortunately, I never had a chance to ask him that question. So, but I'll ask just few. I know about our academy is coming up. I know that to a certain level, but what I don't know is the O Academy itself. If as a founder, if you're going to be paying some money for some services, maybe depending on the grade you're looking at. I don't know of that one, but all the same, I wanted to know the credibility of the certificate. If it had been accredited before coming up. So all these things I need to know about our academy. And the other one is, okay, just answer me this one there so that I will know what, because I wrote it down, I'm trying to find it in my car, I can't find it.
The topic was covered previously, and we said that Academy will not accredit anybody because it's a platform, not a school. At this point, There is no accreditation. But if you take classes from someone who puts up material that is already accredited by another school, another institution, another body that has accreditation credential standards, then you get accredited credits. And it's just a matter of who gives the course as to whether it's accredited. I give courses that are accredited many times. I have had my own accreditation institution that I joined up with the Academy of General Dentistry. For 15 years, every course I taught was accredited. But I can also join with other groups. They're not accredited at all. So you have to go through a lot of steps to get accredited, right? That's why it's accredited, because you prove that you're producing a good result.
Yeah.
And Academy will not do that at this point. It'll all be up to the teachers you contract with. Us as founders can access any course, but we must pay the fee to the instructor if they require it.
Okay.
But we are already paid for the platform's use, so that's not going to be a charge.
Okay, no problem.
Just to
the second question goes to Dr. Okay, you want to say something, sir?
Yeah, I was just saying, just to add to what Dr. Bill says, ONPASSIVE is a platform. King, if you want to put a course of study on Cademy, you can do it. I can do it. Any person on the planet that want to put a course of study on Cademy can do it. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for that usage. But when you put a course of study, because as Dr. Bill says, ONPASSIVE is not a educational institution. It's a digital platform, and at some point will be a product, physical product also. But you are into electronics, electrician. You're a good certified electrician. You are uploading the course of study to Cademy. So when I go to Cademy, I am going to search by niches or by course of study. So, you know, I want to do sewing, crochet, any course of study physically possible can be and will be up. So the amount will be unlimited. The amount of courses. Now you have to search. You would have to search for what you want. So if you want something that is on a certificate basis, then you have to search for that. If you want something that is a diploma based, then you have to search for that, because everything will be there. If you want something that will be accredited, you have to search for that. But everything will be on the platform of Cademy. Just you have to search for what you want. Thank you.
Okay. The second question goes to you, because I wanted to make it snappy. The last time you gave us a lecture about the management and how to control finances and all that, you promised me you're going to send the presentation, but up to now I've not seen it.
Okay. Well, did you give me your phone number? Do I have your phone number?
No, you said you're going to send it on our Zoom stuff, but maybe you forgot. I don't know.
Zoom what?
The Zoom. I thought you said you're going to send it. I think you asked for email or something.
No, I would never on the planet ask for email, because I don't work with emails.
Okay.
I work with
my
okay.
phone number.
King, let me give you my phone number.
And Dr. Derek, King, look in the chat. Dr. Derek is going to send his phone number to, if he's already done that.
All right, just take my phone number and you're good to go. I will send you the information that you asked. I don't use email.
You know the specific one I'm talking about, sir.
I'll send all of them to you, man. No worry, don't worry yourself.
Dr. Derek.
Because it's a series, so it's not just one. All of them is a series.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. And we have one hand up. I think there was another hand. I don't know whether internet has knocked the person out. We'll take Sister Grace, and I think there are a couple of questions in the chat, and Dr. B has really given his time for us today. So we don't want to abuse that, and then next time he doesn't want to come. So we'll take the last hand up and then the last couple of questions in the chat. So, you know, he's a grandfather as well, right? Let him spend some time with his grandkids. So thanks a lot. So last couple of questions in the chat, and with the last hand up, Sister Grace, you can unmute and ask, please.
Who is this?
Hey, Grace.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. And I just want to say thank you very much, because I've learned so much since I joined your webinars, and it's really a dream team. And I just want to say Cademy is one of my favorite, if I can say, platform, yeah. because I really feel like I'll have a lot to share, and I think so many people will learn a lot. And I wanted to say also that may God bless every one of you, because, you know, we are just, you know, it's just love and love and love. When you are in your house, you don't know that love is really going, so, you know, love is going around the world. So I wanted just to tell it to you all. Let's just continue like that, and then we really at least change the world and then spread the love that God has put in ourselves. And I wanted to say thank you very much. I learned so much. And Dr. Derek, I'm sure that I'll send you a request as well about the, you know, your presentations, about finances and so on, to have them and then to re-listen and so on and read again. Thanks a lot to everyone. I cannot start telling the names of each of us, but really, you are doing a great, 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 great job. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sister Grace. Thanks for the appreciation. And Naga asks, how can we apply for academic courses? I don't know whether Dr. B want to answer that again, or you just want me to summarize what I know, and then you add if I got it wrong. Naga, right now, we are not live, but when we go live, if there's a course that you like to do, I think you go and register for that course, like most online courses. If Dr. B has anything else to add, he'll add for you. Naga, I hope you're still there. Dr. Bill, how can we apply for courses in academy?
Well, there'll be an application to send in, and there's certain requirements listed. The primary one is quality video must be used. You can't just use a poor camera with poor audio. Must be certain standards. Any material is okay as long as it's legal. And any course can be free or charged. It's up to the instructor. And all you have to do is submit it. And we'll get the details as we open up Academy in its final form. We'll get the details as far as the requirements to submit. But I think it's going to be quite easy as long as you have the correct camera and audio.
Thank you, Dr.
Sir, thank you, madam. Patience, madam. I want to come out to talk something.
Naga, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Patience, Dr. Williams, sir. You are most welcome, and I am very happy to talk with you, sir. And Dr. Benny, ma'am, Dr. Derek, sir, all our sisters, Verona sister, all our Nigerian sisters, African sisters who have stayed in US, and South African sisters. I'm very happy to stay with you. And I want to talk a vote of thanks to all. That is it. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Naga. And Roy asked a question to our sister Larato Shade. After lunch, will your recording be available for purchase in our shop? If not, you must mail some to Roy Cliven in Texas. Are your recording going to be available to be purchased from our shop?
Yes, everything will be available there. Of course, it's going to be available. Yeah.
All right, but Roy, I hope you've heard her, and I think that wraps.
Question.
Okay, what is it? Are you ready?
Any concept of a library in Academy?
Okay, Dr. B is nodding his head. So Dr. B, yes.
There will be a library in Academy where you can order courses, download them, or look at them.
All right.
That was from Bajesh.
So Bajesh, you heard it. There will be a library. So hopefully we will have our mental brain engaged. I am very inspired with most of All right, I think there was a last one, but I think it was Francisco just saying that, if I understood him right, if you take a course to get a job, but you're working on passive and you make a lot of money, why do you need a job? I think he just saying, and he wrote another one saying that you can do education for the sake of knowledge, not only for a job. So for us founders, there will be a lot of courses, go there, educate yourself. And for people that need a certificate, look for accredited courses and use that for your job. If I understood Francisco de Jesus properly, I think that is what he's saying. So thank you for that. And I think I don't see any more questions in the chat.
No, that is it for the day.
Okay, so go ahead, Dr.
I'm
Ben.
sorry, Sister Debbie, did you ask this one? Could we say Cademy is a tool that institutions may use for their courses?
Oh yeah, okay.
Did you ask that
B?
one?
No, we did not ask. Dr. B, can you just quickly answer that?
Yes, existing institutions will be using Cademy. We've already had institutions around the world who have contacted Ash and other people to find out about how could their school start using Cademy. And so there's a chance, as soon as we open the door, that we'll have thousands of students already looking to be part of our process. But who's going to put the material up for the students? The schools. The schools will probably charge income, and they will start to think of ONPASSIVE as an income center for their school. And just think, if Harvard put up 15 courses, how many people would take a class from Harvard? A lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think universities all around the world may want to put up their material on Cademy because it's an income center, not something that's maybe free. They'll charge money for it. They'll probably have a free one and a paid one, so that there's an opportunity there for every university to become part of the ongoing process of education. They'll lose out if they don't, right? What if Harvard did it, but Cambridge did not? Well, Harvard would go up in value, Cambridge would drop. There's competition in the world for being known, and I don't think an institution would want to not be known on our platform.
Wow, that's just great value. And thanks everyone for coming. And if you look in the chat, Dr. Derek have put information on webinars that this platform runs. Please grab it. And I've also put a link where the recording of this great presentation by Dr. B will be dropped in later in the week. And so please, the gym platform is here every week, same time. We're here Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, we have been doing online security, how to secure your mobile device. Dr. Bini and team has been running that. That is very crucial. But before we close, I know there's a lot of leaders on the platform today. Most of them were made co-hosts. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I want to thank all the great leaders across the globe for the work that you've been doing. I want to thank Dr. B especially for all what he does for humanity, for bringing ONPASSIVE, especially Cademy, to the forefront. Education is very dear to most of our hearts. We have our children paying a lot of money across the world to come to Europe, America to get good education. That money, Mohammed hand was up, and it was up, and then I think internet lost and it came back. So we have to take that hand, sorry. His hand was up and then he disappeared. I know Zoom does that. So I'm going to make an exception and call him, Dr. B, if you don't mind. Because his hand was up.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it. I was on this panel listening to everything that was being said, sometimes writing things down and also taking a mental note as well. And it's always a pleasure to listen to Dr. Bill Williams and Dr. Derek as well. Thank you for giving us your effort, this energy. I don't have much question. What I learned about this presentation was that Dr. Bill mentioned Napoleon Hill. That's a book I'm fascinated with, which I'm actually reading right now. And also I'm reading Cash Flow Quadrant and Rich Dad and Poor Dad. That's just something, since I started engaging with the ONPASSIVE, I started to navigate myself more on financial aspect and mentoring books and all those things. That's something that I just wanted to share with the audience here abroad. And I just want to say thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brother Muhammad, for that. This is a platform that you come and you learn. We take ONPASSIVE to a different level to get us financially ready, mentally ready, and mindset shift ready, because ONPASSIVE is bigger than we think it is. Thanks, Dr. B. Williams. We really appreciate your presence today. Thanks for taking all your afternoon, Sunday afternoon, to be with us. It was a mind-blowing presentation. Every time you think you know something, until great leaders like you present, and the opportunities are enormous. I don't know whether we have time for all the leaders to shout out to you. Maybe we'll not do that today, but I will ask my other moderator, co-moderators, to say something before we close. Sister Debbie, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sister Patience. I won't talk much, but I'll give my place to Tabata to talk. But most importantly, I want to say thank you, Dr. Bill, from the bottom of my heart, for taking time away from the grandchildren to be with us. And the next time I'll ask you to share your experience of living in the African continent from one place to the other with me. But that will be for another webinar, definitely not now. But thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon with the grandchildren. Tabitha Young, are you around? Please, can you say a word to our team, please?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Tabitha Yang from USA, Wisconsin, USA. And hello, Dr. Bill. So good to see you. So good to join your webinar. This is my first time joining your webinar, so good to see you. And I'm so I'm just amazed about the Academy. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm very happy that Academy is featuring a lot more beyond than we can expect. I'm looking forward to the different languages that will be featuring in Academy as well. I think if you want to learn Hmong, I'm pretty sure that it will be featuring in Academy as well. And so, yeah, that's all I have to say. And thank you so much. I hope that I will be able to join you next time. Thank you to Dr. Bill Williams.
Thank you, Tabitha, for coming.
Thank you, Tabitha. I have a lady that's Hmong that works with me at the dental office, so I know about your customs and language. So it's fun to be part of the Hmong family.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Before we go, there's another great leader that has not spoken today, Pastor Paul 360. If you're still on, can you just say a word? Pastor Paul 360. Pastor Paul, can you unmute yourself, or Zoom is just giving you bandwidth issues? Okay, if Pastor Paul is not there, I just want to appreciate all the leaders on the hand, Dr. Derek, Sister Verona, Sister Larato, Brother John, Manny, Debbie, Tabitha, Antoinette, Seferine, Diana, Andrew, Marilyn, Mr. Zibo, Naga, Pastor Paul, Amos, all of you, you know yourself. Thank you for working endlessly every day, every week on this platform. And Dr. Bill, we hope you come back officially. I know you pop in unofficially, but coming back as our official guest, I hope you do. We really enjoy your stay with us today. And if you just want to do a sum up for the group, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Patience. Wonderful again to be part of the Dream Team. You know, I was fortunate to be in Boston at Ash's Dream Team. Some people call it that, but really the Dream Team is every founder, because your dreams are going to be realized. When you are part of this entire group, you've got it made. You've got your hopes and dreams halfway made just by being in the team. And then as time goes on, as you have the patience to get to the point of, you know, waiting it out until it finishes its development, then you will start seeing the apples fall. And I'm looking forward to serving apple pie, applesauce, apple juice, apple cider to each of you.
Looking forward to sharing that with you. All the apples in every form. Thank you. All great founders, if you can all unmute yourself, and let's just say we're all at the right place. We're in it to win it. We're at the very top. We have been blessed with an opportunity to uplift humanity. Everybody
in it to win it.
In it to win it.
Thank you, Dr. Williams.
To win it.
You top.
Dr. Bill, thank you much.
Top. You top.
Need to win it.
You top. You top.
You know what to do.
Thank you, Miss Patient.
Bye, Dr. Bill. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye, on this platform, you know what to do.
Good night from Cameroon.